I think I died in an accident 'cause this must be heaven. Hello everyone, Ryan here, and today I am reviewing the new J Hus album titled Common Sense. J Hus is a rapper hailing from London, England, and recently he seems to be becoming a bit of a breakout artist and is seeing quite a bit of success, and his album did quite well as well. And I hadn't heard of him, I didn't recognize his name at all until I kept seeing his name everywhere, but it should have occurred to me that he actually was featured on Stormzy's album, which came out earlier this year. And going into this album, I really expected a gritty, dirty grime album. I'm not sure why, but it was just my expectations leading up to it. However, it wasn't quite the case. This album isn't that at all. And on first listen, I've got to say I was disappointed that we didn't get that, because I feel like it's kind of dying out a little bit in grime at the moment. There aren't really too many rappers out there that are just kind of spitting fire on these dirty beats. It's kind of going a bit poppier in the UK, I think. And I think this album is certainly an example of that pop direction that the UK rap scene is going in. However, that isn't a negative towards this album at all, because this really grew on me quite a lot. In some ways, I'd say that Common Sense is the UK's answer to a American trap rap album that you would hear a lot in the US, and maybe even a mumble rap album, because I think there are elements of that in this album, but obviously it's very UK centric. But of course the vocals aren't anywhere near as inaudible as you would hear on, say, like a Lil Yachty album. This is much more listenable and more pleasuring to the ears. The comparison to the trap music influence in the vocals can certainly be heard on the intro track Common Sense, where you kind of hear that nearly auto-tuned vocals from J Hus, but it's backed by this incredible glitzy instrumental that wouldn't be too out of place on like late Registration era Kanye West. And I absolutely love the beat on this song. I think it's one of the best on the whole album, and yeah, this song in general is really quite the opener to an album. It's such a statement to intro your album with a great track like this. Closed Doors is a track that shows that J Hus really knows how to sing hooks as well. Like, he can rap pretty damn well, but also sing those hooks and sing on beat really well, which is something that's quite rare to hear from rappers in general. Especially since I thought that was one of the weaker parts of Stormzy's album, which came out this year, as I've already mentioned. I don't think he was quite as good at that, but I think J Hus is showing that he is better at that. And speaking of Stormzy, there is a track Clartin, which sounds like Stormzy would have made that. Like, the beat is a bit more banger-esque, and J Hus is spitting over this track really well, and he sounds fantastic on the beat. I do love the variety of sounds and music across this album, like with the track Spirit as well, which has this booming bouncing beat, and it easily could have been something that Major Lazer made. That's how kind of like up tempo it is and fiery it is. I really do love this beat on this song. Another beat on this album that I absolutely love is the track Clartin, which is an absolute banger that even like the US rapper Denzel Curry would jump on, and it wouldn't sound out of place at all. Like, it's just that good of a banger. And also, this album shows quite a bit of variety in the sense that there are some dancehall flourishes that crop up across the album, which is a bit of a trendy sound at the moment, but J Hus seems to pull it off really well, like on the track Did You See, which has become quite a huge hit in the UK. As of right now, it's just hit the top 10, which I think is quite a big thing for grime and UK rap in general, as it doesn't always chart particularly well, but this is a top 10 hit now, and it is because of that dancehall beat, the easygoing kind of trendy sound that it has, and it doesn't pull away from the song at all. It is one of the best on the album, I think. There are, however, some issues with this album though, like the track Like Your Style, which has these chipmunks sung vocals on the chorus, which I just never enjoy. Like, I don't know why people incorporate this into their music, just that chipmunk sound, that high-pitched squeaky vocal thing just really messes up the way songs sound. I think it always ruins a song. And towards the end of this album, it is a 17 track album, so in that second half, like, there are quite a few songs that just don't grab my ears just as much as the first half does, and they do kind of fall into the background a little bit, and they're not as enjoyable. But then we do end on the track Friendly, which I think is one of the best on the album, and it does kind of save that lull in the second half of the album. And I think this has a great hook as well. I think J Hus should release this as his next single from the album. But this album really does have this fantastic summery, easygoing vibe across the whole thing. I think later in summer this will sound more enjoyable as a whole. I think for most people as well, this could easily get people pumped up for those summer months. And although lyrically there isn't much going on and the content isn't exactly that exciting or interesting, I do think that the vibes that this album gives off could easily appeal to a huge amount of people. And I do think as the year goes on, like I said, once it gets to summer, I think this album could even grow on me even more. And I feel like if you're just one of those people that like to drive around while it's nice weather, this is a kind of album that needs to be played. For me, this album is a B. I do see myself returning to this more and more, and I am hoping to hear a lot more from J Hus in the future. He's certainly a man to watch in the UK rap scene right now. And yeah, if you like this review, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you listen to this album because it's very, very good. And have a good day.